My first clue that we were running into something really bad was that there were fire hose left abandoned all over this road. And like, where are these crews? These guys got out. We're going in. I was laying there waiting for that fire to come over top of us. And then when it was coming over on us, I felt like I was burning alive. I thought, okay, this is it. This is how I die. You think you have one near-death experience in the middle of the road, and the next thing I know, I'm getting hit by a car. And now I'm flying in the air, and I hit the asphalt. He was my angel. I don't even know who he was. I never met him before, never saw him since. I survived now 2 major events where I should have died. It was not about me anymore. It was about helping other people. I went off to college. I'm getting to know these kids, and they're all from the mountains, and they're all outdoorsy, and they're all working these crazy summer jobs as fighting fires and planting trees and things like that. And so I found out the California Department of Forestry was starting to hire females. And I had no idea about any of it, but I thought, wow, what an adventure. And so I was the only girl to show up. There were 500 guys at this high school auditorium when we had our physical test for they called it CDF back then, California Department of Forestry, but it's now known as Cal Fire.
Cal Fire, okay.
And I passed the physical test. And so I ended up being stationed up in this little fire station called Whitmore up by Mount Lassen. There my adventure started. And the one that I really thought I was going to die was we were on a big fire just at Whitmore. It was the biggest fire up in that area for that season, tens of thousands of acres, and we were the first station to be called. My truck was sent out to up this crazy Forest Service road, and we were in the middle of nowhere, and it's pitch dark. And the fire is just raging all around us. And we're going up this road. We were sent in to a clearing where this bulldozer was stationed. And we were sent up this road to protect this bulldozer from burning up. My first clue that we were running into something really bad was that there were fire hose left abandoned all over this road as we were driving over them. And like, where are these crews? There's fire hose abandoned here. These guys got out. We're going in. And we kept going in, and we kept going in, and we kept going in. And finally, we find this clearing in the middle of the forest, and there's this bulldozer, and it's a little tiny clearing. It was just big enough for our fire truck. There's a bulldozer, not very big at all. It wasn't like this massive meadow or anything. It was just a little clearing. So we park, and now we're surrounded by fire, and we knew we were screwed. There was no getting back out. So we knew this fire was coming at full bore. We could hear it. It sounded like a freight train. I mean, there was spot fires all around us, but we knew the big brunt of the fire was coming our way because you could hear it coming like a freight train. When they say fire NATO, I mean, that's what it sounded like, just this roar. And so what we did was we hosed each other down as much as we possibly could, just soaked our clothing. We donned our MSAs, our oxygen masks, and we hunkered down next to this fire truck and waited. Okay, this fire is going to jump over us, and we're just going to pray to God that we survive it. Because here's the thing in fire, the smoke will kill you before you burn. The smoke inhalation, the smoke will be so bad, and you will die of smoke inhalation before you actually burn in the fire. And because we had our MSAs and our oxygen on, we knew we had a fighting chance of surviving if that thing jumped over us. But the heat of the fire was so bad that it blistered the paint on our truck. I got second-degree burns underneath my Nomex suit. I still had second-degree burns. I was laying there waiting for that fire to come over top of us. And then when it was coming over on us and I was burning, I felt like I was burning alive. I thought, okay, this is it. This is how I die. This is how I die.
Did your life flash before your eyes
it's
at all,
like weird stuff, like more like things I'm not going to get to do. That's really kind of not the life flashing before your eyes. It's kind of maybe the life you're not going to get to do.
Did that event impact your life, and did you shift course after? Did it change your perspective? How did that impact?
I dropped out of college. I became a full-fledged musician, and I joined bands, and I was touring, and I toured, and I just did whatever I wanted to do in life. I've had many different jobs and many career paths, and started my own businesses. I mean, it was just this crazy life that I led, but it was on my terms.
So you're just not going to tolerate not being happy in life because it's too fragile, too short.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly. I'm not going to tolerate it. I just want goodness to be surrounded in my life and happiness. And I think that all stemmed from when I was an 18-year-old and had almost
Yeah,
got
that's a
killed
seriously impactful
at the job.
event.
Another thing that came out of that was that I had a lot of hard things happen in my life, and that had something to look back on. Like, well, it wasn't harder. It really actually wasn't harder than that fire experience.
So yeah, that's extremely impactful. Super young. Was there anything else that impactful? I mean,
Well, okay, so you think you have one near-death experience, and you go through life trying to, get things done, and I think because I was only 18, I was doing things for me. And then at 45 years old, and I'm just cruising along in my life, and my commuter bus stopped in this little tiny town of East Nicholas in the middle of nowhere. I parked my car in this little side street that I'd parked it every morning. I crossed this little side street in the middle of the road. And the next thing I know, I'm getting hit by a car that's going 35 miles an hour.
oh,
And
that's a huge impact.
I get hit. I go over the windshield. I go flying. I'm catapulted because when I'm on the guy's windshield, now he's hits the brakes and he's skidding to a stop. But I'm on his windshield now. It's too late. I've hit his windshield. And now I'm flying in the air and I hit the asphalt. And the next thing I know, I see these boots next to me. They look like construction worker boots standing next to me. And I hear a voice going, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I look up and I see this guy. He looked youngish, like 20 something. I can't make out his face because, like I said, I'm still like weird, bizarre blackness coming in and out of it, tunnel vision. And I said, "No, I'm not. Can you call 911?" And he tells me, and it's something to the effect of, "You better get yourself out of the road so you don't get hit again."
Wow.
Something like that. It was weird. And I'm thinking, what did he say? Am I in the road? What? I'm still like not even really aware of where I am. And so I start instinctively trying to crawl my way like an inchworm because I can't walk. I'm at the side of the road. And I see out on the road all my stuff, my cell phone, my bag, my purse, everything's out there in the middle of the road. So I had to crawl back out there and retrieve my cell phone and retrieve my stuff, crawl back to the side of the road so I don't get hit again. I have broken bones. I mean, I'm in bad shape.
Gosh.
And so I call 911. My cell phone started to die. I had like one battery thing left on it, and I didn't have my charger with me to plug it into my car. By this time, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and no one's coming to my rescue. And then I see the fire truck leave the fire station and go down the highway. Code 3.
Oh, what is code 3, like an injured person?
So
they were
it's lights and sirens. It's lights and sirens. That's what code 3 is. Lights and sirens. And I'm like, "Oh, they're coming." Nope, they went down the highway. And I don't have a cell phone. I have no battery left. I can't call 911 again. This man walks up. He's catching the next commuter bus. He walks up to me and he said, "Oh my God, are you okay? What happened?" I go, "I was hit by a car. Can you do me a favor and go over to that fire station over there and tell them where I am?"
Yeah. Wow.
So he did. He was my angel. I don't even know who he was. I never met him before, never saw him since. And he walked over to that fire station because there was somebody still over there. And he told them where I was, and then the cavalry came finally. Again, when I first saw those headlights in the split second, I'm on the hood and flying because all of this happens in such a split boom, boom, boom second. Mm-hmm. That boom, boom, boom second was, this is how I die. This is how I really die.
How did that event impact your psyche and perspective?
So this event,
another shift.
Now that I'm older, it was not about me anymore. It was about helping other people. And I started taking on, teenagers that were having trouble and bringing them out to the ranch and teaching them how to ride horses and introducing them to the ranch life and trying to get their brains refocused into more positive things. So I was doing that for all of my friends that had their teenagers that were giving them problems. They were shipping them out to my place. And so I was doing that. I started doing motivational talks. I started talking to youth. I started talking to college kids. I started talking to leadership classes because of all the leadership things that I've learned along the way, starting with that crazy thing when that fire, I had a lot of things to talk about. in regards to leadership skills and managing people and,
Did that calling come over you immediately, or did you just feel like, I want to help people? What did that feel like to switch your career path, essentially?
I had a lot of reflection when I was laid up. When I was laid up, I was like, why? What am I supposed to do with this? I survived now 2 major events where I should have died. Am I supposed to do something? Am I going to get a big message from somewhere? I was handed this gift, and I didn't really understand how to unpackage it yet.
The gift of rebirth, almost?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the first moment or activity where you realized, oh my gosh, I want to serve other people?
I think it was when people started asking me if they could bring their teenagers out to me.
They just picked you, or just because of the location?
Yeah, I guess so. And that was weird.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you give horse riding lessons? And I got a teenage girl that she's just going off the rails, and she's lost, and we need to get her focused into something. Like, yeah, bring her out. And then it started dawning on me, oh, my package is getting unwrapped here.
I think that's how it works. I think the opportunities in life to do something that betters other people show up. Doors open. You have to be open and, coherent enough to see those opportunities. And then you got to walk through the door. That's so inspiring. These things happen to you and you're using them. You get an overwhelming urge to want to help other people. And then the opportunity comes up and you do it.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yes. And I'm not done yet. And, be turning 65 this year. So I'm thinking, okay, what does this part of my life look like? Maybe I'm going to get more into hands-on service oriented. That's in the back of my mind. Like, I'm going to have more time to do like Meals on Wheels and maybe drive veterans to their doctor's appointments, to the vet centers, or, whatever it is, but more hands-on service work. I think that's where I'm going to be focused, because I live so far away out of town. It's hard for me to do those kinds of things now, but I think I want to live closer into civilization now. I can start giving that way in my golden years.
What's your story? We all have a story that makes us who we are, or multiple stories. Come share yours. Hit me up. Vibe with Humanity on Instagram. DM me. Thanks, guys. Enjoy these 2 right here.